This is Kate, and it's the blah blah. Start again. Hello, this is Kate, and welcome to the Ordinary Earth Soul. Doing another reading. Fancy it. Had a whole day of meetings, and I wanted to break the monotony. Although my bum has gone numb, and I don't want to be spending too long on it. But anyway, Sacred Earth Oracle. I just thought I'd start with that because it's beautiful, and I was called to the cards. I've not used these for a while, so let's see what happens. So this is an oracle reading. It's by Tony Carmine. You'll see the artwork in this is stunning. No specific purpose in mind here. I'll let what comes through come through. And I'm probably never going to do a specific reading about a specific topic, so nothing about, unless it comes through, obviously. I'm not going to choose to do things like a love reading or when's your bow going to come into your life and all that. I mean, how many of those readings can you possibly watch? Or do? I guess if you're doing it for the collective, though, you are doing it for many, many people. So the message is going to be true for someone. I do worry that the same people are watching, and that they're constantly looking for that affirmation, confirmation that they are going to be finding their true love very, very soon. Or, depending on what the message is, obviously, some messages are, hey, chill the hell out. You need to settle into yourself a little bit more before you start thinking about being with someone else. Because sometimes that is the message, right? It's not all about your bow's going to arrive tomorrow, or it's silly of me to say that. That's what the readings would be, because they are all different. All the readings are different. And the best ones are the ones that tell you, help you do that internal kind of exploration. I love those ones. Just because they're eye-opening. That's a lot of cards. Let's see what comes up here. Formation. Okay. Potential. See that? She's got it's like her inner child. It's caught within her. It's like webs caught inside, but trapped potential. But you can let it out because it's opening up. The seeing, the potential's coming out. Formation, coming together, revealing your potential. Perspective, and you're doing that with a shift of perspective. Look at this. Pregnant with newness, pregnant with all this connection, a spiral, and it's all, see, when I used to do a lot of art, as in, well, I don't have the space to do it now, unfortunately, but I always had this spiral in my head, and it was, this for me was always time, and this was the experience of life. But there would be tendrils joining it all together. I know this is also like a shell, but then you've got these tendrils coming out, reaching out for the next kind of wave of the spiral of time and life and experience reaching out. Formation, potential, revealing, perspective, and then the last card was listen. Oh my goodness, look at all these spirals. Listen. Again, spiral. Beautiful. All these cards are women. I think all the cards in this deck are of women. See, they're all beautiful. Forming a new perspective. Formation. Coming together. Bringing it all together, forming into a newness. A new newness. This potential is inside you. And could it be trapped? It looks like it was trapped in the past. Trapped potential. But you reveal it, you allow it out, you start formation from opening up to your potential, which gives you a greater perspective, because the more potential you know you've got, the greater perspective you have, the easier and the more open you are to other perspectives, not just the one you've always had. And it's potentially the one you've always had, which has kept your potential trapped inside, because it's limited. It's limited. If your perspective is limited, then you can only form a limited aspect of yourself or your life. If you open up to potential, you open up your perspective, you listen to change your perspective. You can learn to listen more, and that's like, active listening is a huge thing just in life in general, but it's in this context, this is about listening to your ability to form something new. It's about listening to your ability to have potential, change your perspective. It's about seeing a bigger picture, moving outside of those things that have kept your potential quite closed and limited. Because everyone has limitless potential. How do you access it? How do you access your limitless potential? It's a good bloody question, isn't it? How do you access your limitless potential? How do you realise what that means for you? How do you know what your limited potential, not your limited, your limitless potential can take you? How do you know? How do you get there? How do you tap in? Well, the first thing that they're encouraging you to do here is listen. Learn to listen to your inner guidance. Because as soon as you start tapping in and realise you have inner guidance and start trying to listen to it, it triggers this potential. It triggers the fact you've given it the option of existing. Before that, before you listen, and before you are just going through the day-to-day, you're only going to experience the day-to-day. There's more to it than that. So I'm going to go to a Lightwork Oracle. Now, this deck is one I wouldn't normally go to. And there's no shade on the deck. But I don't know. You know when you resonate with something and you don't resonate with something? I resonate with many aspects of this deck, but it was literally calling to me. There are some things, and I just think maybe some of the artwork isn't to my taste. Okay, so before I even ask the question, how do we get to this point of realizing we have this potential and that we can open up the potential, open it up, change our perspective, form newness? How do we get to that point? Oh my goodness. Paradigm shift. It's boobies. It's a booby. I mean, I do swear in these videos. I don't know where I'm covering up, to be honest with you, but I don't want to offend anybody too much. I mean, I swear, so. Oh, well, I've done it now. It looks nice. Little heart. This came in the post yesterday with something. I got this yesterday. Isn't that beautiful? It is a phantom quartz cluster. And I don't know where the phantom is. I mean, it's supposed to be, obviously, it's in the... But I can't see, because it's so dark. I'm pretty sure. But it's gorgeous. It's got a really nice feel to it. And this came as a freebie. This little... Ooh, I'll reveal the booby now. That's a little tiny agate heart. Okay, anyway. So before I even asked that question, this card came out, Paradigm Shift, and I kept seeing it as I was faffing about with the cards. I kept seeing it because it was on the bottom of the deck. Paradigm shift is that you have to create a paradigm shift, or can you clarify the paradigm shift, or is there any other message? Okay, let's go with that. Is there any other message that goes along with paradigm shift? And are you going to want me to do tarot to clarify this any further? Okay. I'm going to do 3 more shuffles. You want me to read from the book regarding paradigm shift? Because, okay, that's the 3rd shuffle. Nothing else has come through. So that's number 4. That's I'm a 422 in numerology. Numerology. Use your vowels and your consonants. Say them properly. You can do it. Paradigm shift. You are undergoing radical growth in your belief systems. Now is the time to challenge old attitudes and question previous expectations. So actually, okay, so this isn't about how you get to that point. This is about being at that point and actually what to expect next. Now is the time to challenge old attitudes and question previous expectations. And that's what I was saying about having this potential inside you, but being limited. If you have previous expectations, if you have expectations that you've set for yourself and for your life and for the way things should be, and then you have limited yourself to those things. To move outside of those things, you have to have a shift of perspective. You have to see the potential, the possibility that there is something different to what you've always expected. You are in an extraordinary time. There's no joking about that. I mean, 2025. We are in January, 29th of January, 2025. And already this month, this year, has been the most horrendously fascinating year ever. And that's saying something, considering COVID wasn't that long ago. 2024 was relatively interesting. The world you thought you knew can suddenly break open, and a new world can become your reality. It feels like that is happening this year already. It feels like the world is breaking open, like there's this new paradigm shift. There's this newness going on, and it's literally cracking the world open. And we need to possibly embrace that as a means to create positive change, not just for ourselves, but for each other. Positive change is possible when there is a lot of challenge. And it really does, I don't know about you, but really does feel like we're going through this new world paradigm shift where everything is changing big time styly. But this reading seems to be saying to me that exact thing. And it's about not just the world and what's happening in the world, because we can all see and witness what's going on, but this is about the personal side of it. This is about this paradigm shift within yourself. The paradigm shift of realizing, seeing, and acknowledging the fact you have more potential, and that there is something different, or that there is something more, or that there is something other than what you've always had expectations for. And change of expectation, change of perspective may be something that's scary. It may be something that feels challenging. But maybe, if you were to say dig a little bit and kind of embrace the process a little bit, it may become an exciting opportunity that will reveal this new world paradigm, not just for everybody, but for yourself. And then you'll feel more comfortable with being yourself moving forward in the new limitless kind of potential paradigm shift, perspective-y type you. And that's a massive assumption on my part, that you're not feeling comfortable right now, because you might be incredibly comfortable and you might be finding this shift extremely challenging. But if you are finding the shift challenging, maybe ask yourself why. Why is the shift challenging? If you're finding the shift interesting or exciting, then maybe think to yourself, why? Why am I finding it exciting? It's a new opportunity. Why is that exciting me? What can I do with that? This listening isn't just about listening to other people. This is about listening and recognising what's going on inside you, in your head. And also, what guidance are you getting from your whole self? You know, how can that guide you through this process? Because maybe you've been asking to move onto a path of your higher good, or, you know, least resistance or whatever. And maybe you need to learn to listen. Maybe you need to move out your own way so you can hear more clearly. There's all sorts of things that potentially could be going on here. Is this a specific? I mean, obviously, this is for whoever sees it. It's. I mean, obviously, I think it's partly for me. Because I can learn from all of this. I can get all of this. I understand this. I feel like I've been through this process, and this process never stops. And that's because potential is limitless. So you don't just go, now I've reached my potential. because there is more potential. You know, it's not a case of I have reached the pinnacle and now I can stop. It's not as easy as that, unfortunately. It's not as, and now I can rest. I mean, obviously there is a rest period, but the rest doesn't, you know, it's finite. You're going to continue at some point, because there will be opportunities to grow in the future. So this potential is always there, and it grows and it grows and it grows and it reveals and it reveals. And it's like layers of potential, layers of you, layers of understanding, layers of achieving your own oneness. Because oneness isn't just one thing, weirdly enough. It's the culmination of many understandings that come into one thing. What else does this say? Buddhists sometimes speak of the beginner's mind, that which assumes nothing and therefore is open to everything. Interesting. A spiritual psychologist may call this the inner child. That's the inner child there, isn't it? As it is innocent, curious, unfixed, and always learning. Always learning. It doesn't get stuck on an answer having to be one way. Oh my goodness, that's literally what I was just saying. There is openness to the unknown with curiosity instead. My gosh. I promise you I didn't read that bit. I can't read and talk. That's not a skill I've got. Old souls can sometimes find it hard to recapture their not knowingness. That's really interesting, because you become entrenched in the way you are accustomed to being, and therefore you become the person that knows. You become the person that knows the way you need to be, the way you function, the way that you work, the things you believe in, etc. And however open-minded those things are, because they could be incredibly open-minded, and they could be incredibly insightful and spiritual and wise, but if you identify with them to the nth degree, you're still limiting yourself to those things. So this is encouraging. This is how you do it then. This is how you do it. This is how you open up to that potential, that limitlessness. You do it by accepting the fact that limitlessness means not knowing the answer. Not having a definitive clue as to what the finite answer is. There is no specific answer. This is great. This is something I came to a conclusion on about 3 or 4 months ago. I was like, there is no truth. There is no truth. If you accept the fact there is no truth, because if you think about it, there really isn't. What I think is true, you won't necessarily think is true. What they think is true might be different to what you think is true. But everyone thinks they're true. Or they're speaking the truth. They're speaking their own truth. That makes everybody else, to them, wrong. Right? So everybody is right, but everybody is also wrong. That means there is no truth. And that means there is no answer. So this goes back to the layers, actually. Every time you come to a conclusion about something, and this is something that came through with Mother Earth a little while back for me. Every time you come to the conclusion of something, you come to the conclusion of something, you create that bubble of limited belief. Okay, bubble of limited belief. But then something else comes along and it gives you a new understanding, or a broader understanding, or a slightly different understanding, or it skews what was in this original bubble. So then that becomes either merged with what your previous belief was, or it overrides it. And that carries on. You're always changing. You're always changing. Because your little bubble of inner personal truth is always changing. If you're constantly trying to hold on to something, you're like, no, you are wrong. I can't possibly believe anything other than what I believe because of this reason and that reason and this reason and those people and this thing and blah blah blah. And this guy. So in one of my other readings, I was saying about being a starseed. Now, I've had many confirmations I'm a starseed. But I don't want to limit myself to being a starseed, even though it seems like an extremely enlightened, light body opportunity to have a mission and to really make a difference and to really pull into yourself that kind of essence. It's great. It's exciting. It really is exciting. It gives you purpose. It gives you that sense of purpose, that sense of belonging, and that sense of, I'm here for a reason. But you are still, as that light being, as that star seed, you've given it a label, and you've merged it with other ideas and concepts for yourself. Merged it all together, and now you have this little sphere of truth. And even though that sphere of truth is free thinking and probably quite spongy, you're probably going to be more open to other ideas and concepts coming in. It may, for some people, not all, may limit what you allow to come in. It may make you react in certain ways. It's going to limit you in some way or another. Whereas if you looked at life from a Buddhist perspective, what this book says, from a Buddhist perspective, there is openness to the unknown with curiosity. Don't get stuck on an answer. Innocent, curious, unfixed, and always learning. Not limited to one identity. Old souls can sometimes find it hard to recapture their not knowingness because they may be stuck on an old identity or an identity. Asking someone with a lot of life experience who may have become a bit world weary to drop expectations and look at the world through fresh eyes can be very challenging. Believe me, my dad is in his 70s. And if I bring up the slightest thing that's outside of his paradigm of truth for him, he's like, no. He won't even think about it. He's just like, no. Ridiculous. Stupid. He doesn't entertain even the slightest conversation about it. He's literally just straight away, no. Won't talk about it, or that is stupid, and it'll be a load of ridicule. She can't have those conversations with him. It's very much just sort of leave him to it, which is fine. That's him. He's happy-ish. He's a grumpy old man. How happy could a grumpy old man be? But he seems okay. Let life become more energizing and interesting by opening up. Not holding back expectations about what will be. Open up your expectations. Don't limit yourself to one belief. Allow yourself to explore other options. Paradigm shift. That's the potential. That's how you change. You have the change of perspective, and that's how you have the formation is through realizing you have limitless potential, changing your perspectives, and listening, but also allowing yourself to understand allowing yourself to understand there is no truth, not get stuck on one answer, to allow yourself to find joy and exploration and excitement, and by not knowing. How fantastic is that? I love that message. That's gorgeous. Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, now then. I have been wearing my other pendulum all day today because I felt like it needed to be charged. And this is one I haven't used on here yet, but I don't want to leave it out. Oh, it's got stuck on my necklace. There we go. I don't want to leave it out because I love all my pendulums equally. I'm just going to reattach it to its doodad. So this is a labradorite one. I've got a petrified wood one, but it's fallen down. It's fallen down the side, and when things are fallen down the side, they are lost. Not forever, because I may one day move the side, but the side is extremely heavy. I mean, it's exceptionally heavy. And that's just not going to happen. So anyway, this is my labradorite pendant. And with these, labradorite and Super 7, I like to meditate with these, and I let them charge each other. See the auras shifting between them. I don't know if you can see that, but I can. You can see they're always sharing, and they like sharing their auras. Anyway, so I've been wearing this one all day today because I can take it off of this and wear it, which is kind of handy. I really like that. So I'm hoping that means hi. Has wearing this pendulum today been helpful in charging it? I felt very positive with it on. It's been lovely, actually. Yeah. Okay, so this message... Oh, sorry. I should introduce you properly, shouldn't I? Okay. Is this Mother Earth? No. Okay, interesting. Oh, I've got two options in my head. Which one shall I go for? I'm just going to say it in my head first. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So a little while back, I did a thing. I have a habit of daydreaming a lot when I'm travelling, and I was travelling one day back from Hastings. It was a 3-hour journey back to London, and in my head, when I'm daydreaming, sometimes I go back in time and I meet with someone on the energetic level, someone that may be stuck, like Pan, for example, and I bring them back. I bring them back with me so that they, yeah, okay. And I kind of, I've got this thing about the devil. Now, not in a weird way, but in a way that the devil has been made by humans. It's a human concept. Is that right? And it's an amalgamation of myths and stories, and they've taken things like Pan as the image, and bringing him back was freeing him from that concept of who he was. or what we've put on top of him. So bringing him back into the energy. And I've done this a few times, but the last time I did this, and I was daydreaming in the car, I went back to Samiel, who again has got this mythology that links him to the devil, or Satan, or Lucifer. And Samiel, when I met him, turns out he was sitting at a desk surrounded by paperwork and books and studying, and it's a bit like how you'd imagine a wizard. And I encouraged him to come back, and he was like, do you know what, I'm alright. And I was like, well, okay, you can come back if you want to, because quite frankly, we're moving beyond that identity. We haven't heard from you as an individual because everybody assumes you are the devil, which isn't necessarily true because the devil is a human concept. If you fancy coming back, you can. Is this Samiel? Hi. Are you still studying? Have you come back? Are you still where I found you? Have you moved on? Are you free now? Were you free before? I have a theory. Are you Metatron? Is that true? Sort of. Is Metatron one being? Is Metatron an amalgamation of beings? Is Metatron real? Is Metatron a concept or an idea? And did that concept come from you? Metatron's brother is Sandalphon. Is he real? I knew it. Anyway. So I'm guessing that you're here because of this change of perspective, right? There is no truth. There is no answer. There is no kind of like, there's no what definitive, kind of like this is the way it is for sure. Because you were always someone who had that limit put on you by humans. And as humans can create gods, and can humans create angels? No. But can humans trap angels in belief systems? And were you trapped in a belief system? I have pins and needles in my hand right now. Is that you? So you were trapped in a belief system. Are you now free from that belief system? Do people still believe that you are Lucifer? Does that matter? Interesting. Did it matter before, like last year? It doesn't matter now. Whoa. Wow. Well, I think it's absolutely fabulous that you're back and that you're free and that you can be who you are, outside of the limited beliefs of old mythology. I'm sorry. I just think it's beautiful. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Yeah. And everybody can do this, right? We are only limited by the beliefs we put on ourselves or by other people if we put ourselves into that box. I'm guessing as an energetic being, if there is enough belief about you, that traps you. Because it's belief that creates, along with intention and expectation. So if an energetic being has a collective belief put onto them, they will be trapped by that belief. Will that belief mould them into what is expected? And other energetic beings, so let's give an example. Let's give an example of Hecate, a goddess from, oh my gosh, you're here, aren't you? Is this Hecate? My head is... Hecate, hi. You are formed of earth energy as an energetic and powerful goddess. And that was a formation that came into being through human belief and human concepts, worship, blah blah blah. So that was like a little chunk of earth energy, and I'm not so little, I do apologise. A chunk of earth energy, not separated off, but kind of pulled away slightly, still tethered, yeah, but then was moulded by whatever human belief was happening at that time, and it's changed over time. So that's slightly different to Samiel, because you're earth energy and Samiel is angel energy. Samiel was trapped. You were created. And is that true of all the gods and goddesses on earth? No. Are there some gods that were not created with earth energy? Okay, we'll go into that at a later date. But for now, thank you very much for taking part in this, both of you, Samiel and Hecate. I really do appreciate it. My love to you all, Mother Earth as well, because obviously... is there a final message you'd like to give people about this? Oh, okay. I can do that. So one thing to note here, by the way, is that the pendulum works, it goes back and forth and gives yes and no answers when I'm looking at it. If I'm not looking at it, this is the observer effect, by the way, and I will demonstrate this to you at some point. When I'm not looking at it, it will not respond yes or no. It will simply waver back and forth. And when I'm channeling, I've noticed, if I'm not looking at it, I'm looking away. So I'm looking away right now, looking straight ahead actually. It is probably going in all sorts of different directions. Oh, okay, just look down and it's going no. Okay, anyway. So, I'm going to close my eyes for this actually. Do I close my eyes? I don't know. Let's go. Shh. There is light inside that allows the growth of things that are not known. If you know a thing, you create a thing, you are limited. Knowing borders on expectations, which affects deliberations of expectations and affectations that limit the potential of what can be achieved in your life. Allow yourself to embrace not knowing. Allow yourself to embrace non-conformity. Allow difference. Allow change. Allow open perceptions and ideas to grow. Allow the weird. Allow the dark. Allow the light. Allow it all. And choose. Choose what in that moment makes sense. But always accept. Always know the next choice will be different. If you try to make the same choices to get the same results, you will achieve limited potential. You will also achieve moments of challenge and frustration because the desired effect or experience doesn't always come. So allow yourself to live in freedom, the freedom of not knowing the outcome, embracing the weird, exploring the unknown as well as the known. All options are open, all potential is free. You are limitless. That's my cat. Hello, sweetie. She's gone out the window. Okay, thank you. So those are I always hold this one in my left hand and this one in my right. This is my in, this is my out. Anywho. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate, hope that made sense. I don't remember what I said, but something about limitlessness and having the potential. Not a bad reading. Lovely. I love these cards. They are stunning. Thank you for watching. If you watch, that's great. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye.